Hey, Glovelies, and welcome back to Glove Actually. I'm Courtney.
I'm Hallie.
And I'm Melissa.
And this week we have lots to continue being romantic about baseball, but also just romantic in general. Later, we will be joined by our new bestie, best-selling romance author, Adriana Locke. We are so excited to have her on the podcast. But as always, if there's anything you want us to talk about here on the podcast, be sure to leave it in the comments and be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to the Glove Actually podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to turn on those post notifications to stay in the loop when we post new episodes every Wednesday. All right, Glovelies, we're going to kick things off as always with our Pookies of the week. Melissa, who's your Pookie of the week this week?
This week, my Pookie is going to be Yoel Pozo, who is our relief catcher on the Orioles right now, while Basayo is on the IL and while Adley was on the IL. And now that Adley has been traded, he's also backfilling for that. So I had to mention it just once, guys.
Of course.
Anyways, of course. So I will say this guy has already taken a beating physically in the last week. He's working through a busted finger right now, but he continues to play like a champion. I learned recently that he lived out of his car in a Walmart parking lot with his wife and kids and was delivering food when he was a free agent in 2020 just so he could support his family. He's bounced all over the league, but he has a great attitude. He's just happy to be playing, and you can tell in the dugout the last couple of days, he's just so excited to be there, and he's come through in some big moments. So, and his Instagram profile says never give up. So I love that. I think he's a great addition to the team. I think he's doing a pretty good job filling those big shoes of Adley and Basayo, and I kind of hope we get to keep him when Basayo comes back up.
Yeah, I also heard the story about the struggles that he and his family faced while he was a free agent. So it's always nice to see someone who has kept working really hard and not really let a struggle like that shift their focus at all. So yeah, his tenacity and perseverance are definitely very Pookie-worthy qualities.
They are. So you're my Pookie of the week, sir. Keep up the good work.
All right, Hallie, who's your Pookie of the week this week?
My Pookie is somebody who has been on my mind a lot for the past week and probably will come up again later in this episode. And if she doesn't, you guys are all fake fans of the rom-com genre. And that's Queen Latifah. And I've been thinking about her a lot. And I miss her on my screens, and I hope she has a project in the works for me to watch because I like watching her in the movies.
Is this because we just watched The Wiz live the other day?
We did just watch The Wiz live, which is the best of the made-for-TV musical live productions. And Queen Latifah as The Wiz, inspired casting. I think she's phenomenal in everything she does. Queen Latifah, I love you so much.
All right. Well, my Pookie this week, I've gone from having 4 Pookies to 3 Pookies, and now I'm going to have 2 Pookies. Next week, will I have 1 Pookie? We'll see. I don't know. But I do have 2 Pookies this week. I am getting greedy with my multiple Pookies. So just recently, those of you who know me in real life know that I'm a very clumsy person and I have injured myself multiple times. Those of you who don't know, I injured myself last week. I sprained my knee last weekend at work. So I'm no stranger to an injury. And I wanted to use my Pookie this week to give a shout out to someone else who is no stranger to an injury. And that is Jordan Brewer of the Loco Beach Coconuts. So another banana ball Pookie for the pod. He is actually one of my 2 Pookies this week. So let's talk about a guy who's had some ups and downs as an athlete. Jordan actually played football in high school and had committed to the University of Michigan before dislocating his shoulder twice and having to give up football altogether. So Jordan then pivoted to baseball, and he was eventually a pick in the 2019 MLB draft class and was drafted to the Astros organization. So in 2020, while with the Astros organization, Jordan suffered a cartilage tear in his knee, and he was faced with doctors saying that once again, his journey with a sport had come to an end. It was looking pretty grim for him. However, there was another young athlete, a young man from Minnesota, a baseball player named Benjamin Anderson, who is my second Pookie this week. So Benjamin had unfortunately recently passed away. However, he was an organ and tissue donor, and Jordan Brewer received a tissue and cartilage transplant that eventually reconstructed his knee and continued his athletic career. And he came back. He was still with the Astros organization until they released him in 2024. But since then, Jordan has continued to play baseball, and he was drafted as a pioneering member of the Loco Beach Coconuts in last year's inaugural Banana Ball draft, and recently had a very touching moment when the Loco Beach Coconuts were playing at Target Field. I might cry talking about this. He was reconnected with Benjamin's family and loved ones, and they had like a special celebration to shine a spotlight on his legacy, which will forever be intertwined with Jordan's. Benjamin's mom walked him to the plate for Jordan's first at-bat of the game, and Jordan also wore Benjamin's baseball jersey while he was up to bat.
Oh, that's
Wow.
really sweet. Very
That is
sentimental.
It was a very emotional moment, and Jordan was interviewed, and he is so proud to get to carry a little bit of Benjamin's legacy on. And you can tell that, you know, the tissue and cartilage donation and extending his baseball career meant absolutely everything to him. And he has so much gratitude for Benjamin's family as well. So this week, once again, my Pookie is going to be another double Pookie, and it's going to be Jordan Brewer and Benjamin Anderson.
Very nice.
Good Pookies.
Hell yeah.
It's always fun when you started off with a tearjerker.
I
in the
know.
beginning.
All right, Glovelies. Well, we want to hear from you. Who is your Pookie of the week this week? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and be sure to tag your Pookie if you can. Romantics. Once again, we are going to be romantic about baseball on this podcast, just like we are every week. Let's be real. But today is a very special day. We are going to be joined by our new bestie, best-selling romance author, Adriana Locke. Welcome to the pod, Adriana.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Even though I'm wiping away tears right now from that Pookie story. My goodness.
I love the feel-good stories.
Yeah, I love that.
So, yeah, I love that. So, Adriana, we are going to have to talk to you about your baseball connections, and we're also going to have to talk about the new book you have coming out. And Hallie's going to give you a rapid fire quiz so that the Glovelies can get to know you a little bit better. And then we're going to get your hot takes on our top 5 for this week. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good. I'm ready to go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so first question that we have for you, who is your Pookie of the week this week?
So my Pookie of the week this week is a guy named Joshua. I believe it's Baez, and he plays for the Cardinals. He hit 3 home runs in his debut, and that's just wild to me. And so I kind of like Googled him because he has got the most adorable smile. Like he looks like a baby. I mean, obviously he's a grown man, and I'm like, what a cutie pie. So I'm looking him up, and I guess he has his dad is his hero, and there's some sort of a thing when he was in the minors where on the anniversary of his dad's passing, he hit like 4 home runs that night. Like, I feel like this kid just has something special, and he just makes me smile. I love it.
Yes, he is the first player in Major League history to hit 3 home runs in his debut game.
It's wild. I just think that's just incredible.
It's absolutely amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, Cooperstown asked for his cleats.
Good. Yay. That makes me happy.
So Joshua Baez's cleats from his MLB debut will in fact be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So the other thing that I know is going to go crazy though is when his debut patch goes into a baseball card. That's going to be crazy value. So
Ooh. Man, imagine what that'll be like signed one day. Holy crap.
Crazy. That's going to go crazy. All right. So Adriana, obviously you're an author. So I would love to know what made you fall in love with books. Was there a specific author or book that did it?
It was actually my 3rd grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Robertson, and she would read to us a chapter after lunch every day. And she read to us Tales of a 4th Grade Nothing by Judy Blume, which started my lifelong obsession with all things Judy Blume. And she just picked the best books. We read Fudge and Super Fudge, and then she went to the Boxcar Children, and it just opened up a whole new world, like so many new worlds, I guess, for me. And I think I've probably had a book in my hand every day since I was like 7.
Absolutely. I remember growing up, there were a lot of really amazing teachers that I had who also, fostered my love of reading. And it's so important to be a teacher, and it's so important to make sure that teachers have the tools that they need to succeed so that the minds that they're molding can get into it for the next generation. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Did you read The Babysitter's Club?
Oh my goodness, I still have a lot
Yeah,
of
girl.
them. My mom used to go to Sam's, and I lived in a really small town, not close to anything. And every time she would go to like the city, she would go to Sam's and bring me back. You could buy him like a 3-book box set. And I remember her telling me, you've got to read these slower. Like, we cannot go there every week. I love them.
Yes, I love that. Yes. I gave my daughter
Oh.
my entire collection.
I have 4 sons, and I'm like, one of you has to have a daughter because I have so many things that I just need to give to a daughter, but I didn't have any. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So out of curiosity, now that we know how you fell in love with books, how did you fall in love with writing, and what led you to writing romance?
I got into reading romance again. I sort of had a little hiatus with 50 Shades of Grey, as many readers did. And I was actually sitting on the couch one day, and I was telling my husband, there's nothing I want to read on this Kindle. And he was like, you're a liar, because I have seen the Amazon bill. So pick one. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Okay. And so he was like, you just write your own. And I'm like, whatever. And he was like, no, like, I dare you, write the romance novel you want to read. And I'm like, I could never do that. And he was like, yes, you could. So I'm like, well, fine. And I'm not going to back down from a challenge. And so I started writing, and I picked it up and put it down like a million times, which I just now know is my process. And a few months later, I hit a spot where I just fell in love with this story. And a few months later, I had a full novel, and I was like, well, I might as well publish it. It'd be a great thing to understand like how this works. Tell my kids someday, Mom wrote a book. And I am just getting ready to publish my 51st book.
Wow.
That's awesome. Living
That's
my dream
amazing.
right there. I want to be like you so bad. Trust me. 51 books sounds amazing. I want that to be the only thing I ever do.
The first one, I think the first 2 are the hardest for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I'm on 51, and I write in this office a lot, but my other office, I ship most of my packages there now. But on the top, as a border, I have mixed tiles, and it's every book cover that I've had.
I love that.
And I have to look at those every time before I start a book. And I'm like, you know how to do this. You've done it a lot of times. But like,
Yeah.
it's like a constant reminding yourself that you can do it.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I want a wall like that one day.
You'll have one. I know it.
Thanks. Anyways, sorry to
God.
derail.
No,
Tell
no,
you
no,
some
that's
of that, but
That's a good derailment. So, Adriana, you've written 51 books. So I would love to know, what are some of your favorite like romance tropes and some of your least favorite romance tropes? Like what are the easy ones to write? What are the hard ones to write?
I love to read and write opposite. So what I love to read are like morally gray, enemies to lovers in an office, right? But what I like to write are like friends to lovers, sports romance, golden retriever hero. And I don't want to read or write those second chance romances. They get so complicated, and they're not together for a reason. So somebody's made somebody mad and hurt their feelings, and I hold a grudge. So it's hard for me to like work through that. So it's kind of, I don't want to read or really write a second chance.
yeah,
Okay.
I have not even like scraped the top of your bibliography, but I feel like the ones that I've read, you like to add like a little bit of a surprising twist in there.
Sometimes if I can.
That seems to be like I said, I've only read a few, but that seems to be like a trend that I've noticed in your books.
You got to keep the reader on their toes, you know? It can't quite go exactly how they think it's going to go all the time.
I love that. I like that.
Exactly. So, Adriana, you have written romance novels of all different genres. You've written sports and non-sports romance novels. So from the perspective of someone who's writing a sports romance novel, how do you think that sports aids as a device in like the storytelling aspect?
The book I'm publishing on Monday, it is a pickleball romance. And
Ooh.
so I've been thinking about this a lot. I think sports in romance is really a cheat code, because competition and relationships have so many things that sort of cross over. Like, you have to trust each other. You have to work through problems. You've got to compromise. You've got to have this, we are both sort of on this path to this end, right? And I also think that the sports setting gives you so many things right off of the top. I mean, there's a conflict almost always just built in. The setting is so relatable. It's really, like I said, it's almost a cheat code to writing romance.
Nice.
Love
And
it.
how many different sports have you covered in your various sports romance novels?
I have baseball and football and MMA, and now I'm doing pickleball, and I have a few rugby romances. So I think that's
Ooh.
probably it. I've never done hockey. I did have a heroine who took over a hockey team, but you don't get any hockey. Don't read that for hockey. I don't know a thing about hockey. There's no hockey. My husband was a fighter. One of my sons is a boxer. So to me, I feel like I have one of my sons a wrestler. Like, I understand those dynamics, but when you're watching hockey and it looks like they got decapitated, like that's a whole new world for me. I haven't worked that out.
Obviously, Melissa is a fan of your work. So if you are going to look at your readership, what do you hope that your readers take away from your books after they've finished them?
I really just hope that they feel happy and hopeful. I think there's so much negativity in the world everywhere. Everywhere we turn, I feel like it used to feel bright and sunny, and now it's just like, ugh. And so I just want readers to be able to trust me when they open an Adriana Locke book, that they know at the end that they will feel happy, and it will be sort of a respite from their reality if their reality isn't so sunshiny that day.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so if you have a new reader, which one of your books would you recommend as like the first book that they should read to help them get to know you and like your style most thoroughly?
I think Play Me's good. It is the first book in the series that I'm closing out now. It's a rugby enemies to lovers. She's his grumpy. She's his assistant, and neither one of them liked the other one at first. I also think that Flirt is a good starter. It's a small town romance. That series there's a lot of me and my family in that series. And I think that I hope that it's really relatable to people. And I hear a lot of like people reading it and they seem to really enjoy it. So I think that might be a good choice too.
Oh, amazing.
My first one was Sacrifice.
You went in like, I'm just going to go all in on that one.
That was a good
Melissa,
book. I came out of that and I was
yeah, she'll jump into the deep end.
and I came out of that, I was like, why am I not reading more Adriana Locke? I need to get on this.
That book almost didn't get written. After that was my third novel, and after my second one, I told my husband, I am done. Like, I just can't do this anymore. It was just a lot at one time. He said, you've been talking about this character named Crew Gentry, and he said, I don't ask a lot of. He didn't ask a lot of me, and he said, but I want you to write that book, and if you write that and you don't ever want to write another book again, then don't, but I think you need to tell that story. So I was like, fine, you're beta reading it then. So I wrote Sacrifice, and I made him beta read it. Every time I wrote a chapter, I'm like, here, you have to sit down right now and read this. And so he did, and that book is a book that I will never touch again. I will never write. There's a secondary character named Will. I will never go back into that, because not everything needs a sequel, and I feel like I could only screw up that world.
I like that. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Not everything needs a sequel. Sometimes you
love it.
leave perfection alone.
Although that it's perfect, but I'm scared to touch it. So
Exactly. All right. Well, Adriana, thank you so much for giving us a little insight into who you are as a writer and how people can get acquainted with you. So now Hallie's going to hit you with some rapid fire questions so that the Glovelies can get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hallie, take it away.
Okay, what is your favorite sport?
Football. I think football.
Nice. And what is your favorite sports team?
Michigan football. In the NFL specifically, I'm more of a player fan. I have the players that I like, and as long as they do well, then I root for them. Like, I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. So NFL's hard for me to like pick a team, you know?
Do you have a favorite color?
Orange. Everything I could get the orange, and my family's like, why is everything orange?
If you don't have a
fun
baseball
color.
team, you have a good orange team for you. I'm just saying.
How do you take your coffee?
With cream, usually pumpkin spice if I can locate that.
Yum. What is your favorite movie?
Tombstone, because Sam Elliott might just be the most handsome man to ever walk the planet.
Wow. That's my
Yeah.
husband's
I love
favorite
him.
movie.
Yeah.
Good one.
I too love an old man.
I just love him. Like, his voice just does it for me.
What is your comfort TV show?
I don't watch a lot of TV. I never really have, but what I go back to when I want to just sort of like, zone out is Desperate Housewives.
Oh, Love Desperate Housewives. Do you have a favorite book?
I feel like if I had to pick one, it's so hard. It's like asking your favorite child. Like even when you read, like as I write romance, but even picking a romance novel would be impossible. So I would probably go to like Hatchet by Gary Paulson, like an OG, like from when I was a little kid. And my husband loved it, and our oldest son loves it, and it's sort of like a family thing. So I'm going to say that, which is feels random, but
no, that makes sense. Do you have a hidden talent?
Not really. And it's definitely nothing musical. The only thing I think I can do, I'm really good at doing that's kind of hard to like, you wouldn't know, is I can tell people are good people in 60 seconds and I'm never wrong.
Ooh,
that's a good talent to have.
Not that's a hidden talent, but I feel like it saved me a number of times, you know?
Do you have a comfort meal or a favorite snack or like any kind of food situation?
I could eat pizza every day for the rest of my life and never get tired of it. We owned a pizza shop when I was growing up, and so I just sort of like grew up inside this, you know, the small town pizza thing, and I could eat it constantly. I love it. My kids are like, we're not having pizza again, and I'm like, well, you have a debit card for your own account. Go to Chipotle.
And if you played baseball, what would your walk-up song be?
I thought about this a lot, and I think I would have to go with Rough Riders Anthem by DMX.
Nice.
Ooh, very good.
I think that's my jam. That's the vibe I want when I walk onto the field.
Yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah. Oh, I love it.
Great vibes for walking up.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Adriana, thank you so much for letting us poke around in your brain a little bit. All right. Moving on, Glovelies. We're going to dive right into our top 5 of the week. And this week, since we are being so romantic, our top 5 is going to be our top 5 90s and early 2000s rom-coms. So I feel like in addition to the romance novels of the past, romantic comedies have also laid some serious groundwork for some of the great contemporary romance novels that we know and love today. So I would say we would open this up to all romantic comedies, but there are simply too many to choose from. So we're going to zero in on the golden age of rom-coms, which, I mean, I think that's essential here because we're only choosing 5, which is crazy. So Adriana, since you are our guest, would you like to go first with your number 5?
I'm going to go with My Best Friend's Wedding.
Ooh.
I feel like it's a classic. I'll watch it when it's on. It gives me those like vibes from the golden era of rom-coms. Like I just feel like it's underrated also.
Julia Roberts, Jerome Mulroney. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Melissa, what you got for your number 5?
All right. I know my notes are like wild. I promise I'll try and keep it contained. All right. So the first is going to be the rom-coms I share with my husband. The top one there, number 5, would be The Wedding Date, which I know is completely random and probably not the best one out there. However,
it almost made my list.
Did it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, our song is at the end of the movie when the credits play. So like, yeah, that's kind of like our thing. But one of our things when we first started dating was we would quote movies back and forth to each other and try and guess which movie we were talking about. So I also want to just like honorable mention in that category. Can't Hardly Wait, Wedding Crashers, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 50 First Dates, Just Go With It, The Wedding Singer, and American Pie, because we used to quote those a lot. Yes.
So good. I love it. All right, Hallie, what you got for number 5?
My number 5 is a rom-com that we got to watch my senior year of high school in French class, and that's French Kiss.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's such a good one.
And like, it has such a special place in my heart because like I said, I got to watch it during class. I had a really, my French teacher was so like fun. He's just this like, he was just this grandpa, and he's the one who chose French Kiss for us to watch.
Amazing.
Great. Great pick.
My number 5 is going to be a classic from 2005 starring Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart. It is Just Friends. I absolutely adore this movie. I think it is so funny. Anna Faris in that movie is also incredible.
Forgiveness.
It's more than saying sorry. No, my absolute favorite part of the movie, though, is not during the movie. It's during the end credits. For those of you who don't know Just Friends, Ryan Reynolds plays this guy who used to be overweight in high school. And so he wears a fat suit in the movie. And is that outdated? Yes. I'm not going to get into the optics and the logistics of that. But the end credits of the movie are him as his high school self with the retainer, lip syncing to I Swear by All For One and doing like insane like choreography. It's crazy. He does like air saxophone. It's so good. Incredible.
Also probably one of the most quoted movies in my house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, also the mom when she's like telling him to just be himself. Be yourself. Be yourself.
So good.
So good. I love it. Okay. All right. Let's hop up to number 4. Adriana, what you got for number 4?
I am putting How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
I love
Yes.
it. I feel I wish it was a book that I wrote.
Yeah.
I think about it sometimes. I love it.
Kate Hudson's working that yellow dress. So
Yeah, she is.
Iconic.
Yeah, she is.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey, I'd say is really good. I would also say like Fool's Gold if you've seen Fool's
Mhm.
Gold. All right. Well, Melissa, what you got for number 4?
All right, I am going my next category is for number 4, the rom-coms I share with my mom because my mom is the one who got me into rom-coms and used to take me to the movies all the time to see them. So I'm going to put at the top of that list, You Got Mail, but I will honorable mention Sabrina with Julia Ormond and Harrison Ford.
Holly, what you got for number 4?
I have My Life Story, The Parent Trap.
Oh, I forgot The Parent Trap. Dang it. I need to redo my list.
Oh, excellent. I just really shook things up. The Parent Trap genuinely is based on my life. My name is Hallie. My sister's birthday is October 11th, just like in the movie. When I went to summer camp, I met a redhead who has the same birthday as me.
And a girl in a tie-dye t-shirt.
I was a tie-dye girl, actually. And while the redhead I met at camp was not my long-lost sister, Martin, his dad knew my mom before we were campers and reconnected after we went to camp.
Oh,
Wow.
that's cute.
Great
Yeah.
story.
That is.
All right. My number 4 is going to be 27 Dresses.
Oh.
Another really good one. I'm a
Mhm.
big James Marsden fan,
Mhm.
and I think just the concept of saving every bridesmaid's dress that you've ever had is like that just speaks
Why?
to me. I have every bridesmaid dress that I've ever had.
And that's hoarder behavior, Courtney. I love you so much.
Yes.
Leave me
Good for you,
alone.
girl. I got rid of those. I was like, I'm never fitting in this shit again. Ever.
The thing that always like gets me specifically, well, the Benny and the Jets scene when they sing Benny and yeah.
Yes.
Also Judy Greer in that movie is elite. And I love James Marsden. James Marsden can do no wrong in my eyes.
Mhm.
And yeah, the whole montage where she's just trying on all the dresses.
Mhm.
It's so fun. So yeah, 27 Dresses. That's my number 4. So we've arrived at our number 3. Adriana, what's it going to be?
I'm going to have to split this one. Clueless, which I think has to make the list because it's so iconic. Everyone knows it. It was such a
Mhm.
big part of like when I was in high school, which seems like it was forever ago at this point. It was forever ago at this point. And The Parent Trap, because that movie when they did it with Lindsay Lohan is one of the only movies that I can think of that is equally or better than the original. And I forgot about that, which is surprising because I have a book called Nothing But It All. And it's sort of kind of has those themes. I had just watched that when I was plotting it. And so you have in that book a couple who's married and they're having like, they're going to separate, they're going to get divorced. And the kids team up with the grandpa to like get them together in this cabin for the summer to try to like make them fall in love with each other again. So
To Parent Trap
Mhm.
them.
it's a Parent
Mhm.
Trap. So I have to split that one.
Hell yeah. I love it. Melissa, what you got for number 3?
You know, I'm gonna also have to go with Clueless for my number 3, and it is my only number 3 because that is the movie 1995, freshman year of high school going in. That's the one that made me fall in love with Paul Rudd. Okay, I freaking loved Paul Rudd from that movie, and I think that might be where my obsession with enemies to lovers started. Was that movie?
Okay. All right. Hallie, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is yet another Nancy Meyers movie, Father of of the Bride.
Yes.
And Father of the Bride.
Mhm.
It has.
pulling such good ones.
I love Father of the Bride. I think it is so funny and so silly. It also has B.D. Wong, who was a star on Law & Order SVU, is in it.
All right. My number 3 is going to be a movie that we've discussed many times. So I'm not going to spend much time talking about it. It's Fever Pitch. It is elite for me. It's one of my comfort movies. I will rewatch it every time I'm like sick or like sad or whatever. I just love it. Okay.
Mhm.
There's nothing you could say to make me hate this movie. So there's that.
If you didn't, that would be the bag of hair.
It literally, like, if you don't like Fever Pitch, that's my bag of hair. Okay. All right. We have arrived at our number 2. Adriana, what you got for us?
I had to look up the date on this one to make sure that it was in fact qualified for this category.
Okay.
Like
Mm.
years wise, Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which really
forgot about
must be one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. So I almost made it number 1, but I think it's good at number 2.
I think that is one of the best examples of second chance romance in contemporary film.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So good.
Absolutely. 100%.
So good.
All right. Melissa, what you got for number 2?
All right, so we've already talked about one of my number 2s, and which would be Just Friends. There's nothing wrong. There's everything right with Just Friends. But I'm gonna mention another one that I feel like does not get enough play at all, and it is Beautiful Girls.
Okay.
That movie is very quotable. Hallie, you love Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell has one of the best monologues in that movie, and it's funny. And honestly, it's about romance from the guy's perspective, which is, very entertaining.
Love it. Hallie, what you got for number 2?
I have for number 2, Last Holiday.
Mm.
Oh, with Queen Latifah?
Yeah, with
Mhm. Good movie.
So normally, like, I hate when I see social media accounts where the whole purpose is just to repost clips from movies, and I block them or like say I'm not interested and keep it pushing. The only clips that I ever like sit and watch all the way through before I say block and not interested are clips from The Last Holiday, especially when she goes in. Like, it's always the same clip. It's always Queen Latifah going into the restaurant asking if the menu's going to be the same again tomorrow, and it's not, and so she just, I guess I have to get everything.
Hell yeah.
And
Baller
like,
behavior.
oh my god, and I want to live that kind of life.
Same.
That's an energy I respect.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right. My number 2 has already been mentioned multiple times. It is, in fact, Clueless. I personally think Clueless is the best rom-com of the 90s. That puts it above everything with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, and I'm really sorry. It is a contemporary retelling of Emma, in case you don't already, for those of you who are listening who don't already know that, which if you want to watch Emma, there is a version that was released in the 90s with, I believe, Gwyneth Paltrow. And then there's also one that came out in 2020 with Anya Taylor-Joy.
and that one's
I really enjoyed that one. But Clueless was really like a cultural moment. And I feel like still is in a lot of ways.
It was.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. We have arrived to our number 1 picks. Adriana, what's it going to be? What is your number 1 favorite 90s, 2000s rom-com?
Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
You know
mean-
what? That is 90s, isn't it?
It is 90s. I had to look it up
Damn.
too and like fact check myself on that. But it is iconic. The clothes,
Yes.
the lines, Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, the chemistry. It's funny. It's sexy. So many tropes. It literally is the epitome of a rom-com.
It
And
is.
I just don't think you can get a better example of a perfect rom-com.
It's the first time I ever saw a condom on the big screen.
Wow.
So thanks to Julia Roberts for teaching me about safe sex.
There you
yeah.
go.
Thanks,
She's
Julia
doing-
Roberts, for teaching
She's
us
doing the
about that.
Lord's work over there.
She really is. It's important work. I
You
love
know?
it. All right, Melissa, what is it going to be? What's your number 1?
Okay, so my top all-time faves. We have already talked about one of them, which is Love Actually, obviously.
Our namesake.
Our namesake. However, my other most top favorite one, I had a poster up in my room. I was obsessed with this movie while you were sleeping. I
Hey.
loved While You Were Sleeping. I loved Jack. I knew that he had made his first appearance exactly 30 minutes into the film. I freaking love that movie. I love the leaning scene. You were leaning. There's nothing wrong with While You Were Sleeping.
All right, Hallie, what's it going to be? What's your number one?
So my number one romantic comedy is My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Nice.
Yeah,
Solid
that's a good poll.
choice.
I think it is so heartwarming how she just wants to get better she wants to go to school for her, and then like she does it so she can help her family as well and like make the business better, and then like through happenstance gets to a second chance with a cute boy who like remembered her even before her transformation. It's just so wonderful.
All right. I love it. Honorable mention for me is going to be anything Sandra Bullock, Drew Barrymore in anything. Drew Barrymore was in Fever Pitch, and she's also in my number one pick, which is 2009's He's Just Not That Into You. And if you know me, you know that one, if this movie is on TV, I will stop and watch it at any point during the movie. It does take place in Baltimore. Don't forget.
Yep.
And it has one of my favorite like scenes ever in any movie ever. It's I'm just going to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it. So Justin Long plays this bartender who struck up a friendship with Jennifer Goodwin, who seems to be striking out with every guy that she like tries to have a relationship with. And she's seen as really eager and he's seen as just kind of like this player. And eventually he realizes that he actually really cares about her. After she like showed interest in him, he's like, I don't like you like that. And she's like, okay, well, that's fine. And she seemingly moves on. She's on a date with someone else. She goes home and she shuts the door and there's a knock at her door. And it's Justin Long. And the whole movie, he keeps telling her that she can't expect all of these guys to just change because she knows someone who had a guy who randomly changed. She's not the exception. She is the rule. And so when she opens the door and she sees him, he goes into this long speech about how he was wrong. And she stops him and she goes, I'm the exception. And he goes, you are my exception.
That's beautiful.
And then Somewhere Only We Know by Keane is playing and they kiss and it's just so good. It's one of those movies that just makes you feel good. It's got like that big ensemble cast vibe and everybody kind of knows each other and is connected in some way. And it's like every different stage and type of relationship that you can think of. So I really just love how all of that is fit and woven together in one piece. And the fact that it's set in Baltimore is great. So good. I love it. All right, Lovelies. Well, we want to hear from you. What did you think of our top 5 picks? What's your favorite rom-com from the 90s and early 2000s? Be sure to let us know in the comments. All right, Lovelies. Now, before we wrap things up, we are going to leave you with some recommended media for this week, brought to you once again by our very own No Regrets reader. Take it away, Melissa.
All right. So with Adriana here this week, we're going to talk about a couple of her sports romance books. So since we're a baseball podcast, I would be remiss not to talk about her book, The Sweet Spot. I read it just last week while I was on vacation, and I loved it. Cole Beck is a freshly retired MLB catcher visiting his parents in the small town of Bloomfield, Ohio, where they have chosen to settle in their golden years. When Cole runs into Palmer Clark at a local bar, he is instantly attracted to the beautiful, frazzled stranger that wants nothing to do with him. After a couple of coincidental run-ins, it becomes clear to Cole why Palmer is hesitant to date him. She's a single mother trying to make ends meet with a history of dating the wrong type of man. Unsure of his next steps post-retirement, Cole seizes an opportunity to coach Palmer's son's Little League team as an excuse to stay in town. So unable to fight their attraction, Cole and Palmer get closer and catch feelings, but they both have fears about their future that they need to overcome in order to commit. So that's the first book. I loved it. It was great, Adriana. So good.
Thank you. And you are really good at these little retellings. I'm going to hit you up when I have a synopsis.
Please
I'm
do.
like, I wrote this. This is great.
Oh, thank you. All right. So let's see how I do with book number 2. All right. So also, Adriana's also in the process of writing her Legends football series. So the first book, Endgame, was released last year. So when Branch Best goes home with his teammate / best friend, Finn Miller, for the weekend, he meets Finn's younger sister, Layla, and sparks immediately fly. Despite Finn warning Branch to keep his playboy hands off his sister, Branch makes move after move until Layla finally caves to her attraction. Branch and Layla are both commitment phobes, and they hook up several times over the weekend with the understanding that they end when the weekend ends. Unfortunately, a positive pregnancy test a few weeks later ruins their plans. Branch caught feelings over the weekend, but now he needs to decide if he's ready to let go of his single days and freedom, and Layla needs to decide if her feelings for Branch are strong enough to overcome her trust issues. So, side story throughout this book is the tension between Finn and Layla's best friend Poppy. They have like this non-committal hookup situation that is clearly more. You can tell they like each other a lot more than that. And that's going to be book 2, and that's going to be Game Plan, and it releases in October. And I definitely plan to pick it up right away. So I loved Endgame though. Super good.
Thank you.
So-
You're really good at that.
Thank you. But anyways, if you want to check out these books or any of Adriana's other 48 books, you can find them on Kindle Unlimited. I have also read Sacrifice, like I mentioned earlier, which is an MMA book. I highly recommend that one as well. It's good.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Adriana, for being here with us. And so, Glovelies, definitely recommend checking out Adriana's work if you are interested in sports romance novels, non-sports romance novels. She's got something for everyone. We can't help but promote the work of all of our Glovelies. So, and everyone who's kind enough to come on the podcast and talk with us. So would love to take a moment to shout out the amazing Adriana Locke for joining us today. Adriana, where can our listeners find you if they want to follow more of your content or find your books?
Thank you, ladies, for having me. It's been so much fun. My website's adrianalocke.com. I'm on all the socials at author Adriana Locke. And make sure you check out Beg Me, which comes out on August 24th. It's a pickleball romance.
Woo! Yay!
Yes.
I love it.
Do you have
I
any
love it, I
book
love it.
signings, Adriana, that you're doing?
I'm doing one in Kansas City. I think it's in June. That's
Okay.
the next one. So I have the fall and the winter off.
Nice.
Cool. All right, Glovelies. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Glove Actually. Once again, I would love to thank best-selling romance author Adriana Locke for joining us. And thank you all for listening. Be for sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to the Glove Actually podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to turn on those post notifications to stay in the loop when we post new episodes every Wednesday. All right, ladies, what are we looking forward to most this week in the world of baseball? Who do you hope has fun this week? Adriana, who do you hope has fun this week?
I wasn't prepared for that question.
Oh, it's
She
okay.
wants the Orioles to have fun this week.
I hope the Orioles have a kick-ass week this week.
Yeah.
Great
We're playing
answer.
the Yankees. Good answer.
Great answer. I love
And
it.
whoever's playing the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. Melissa, who do you hope has fun this week?
I hope that author Kate Stewart is having a good week. My favorite author announced recently that she had a stroke and that she needs to slow down and cut back on her activities.
stop.
Yeah.
Kate did?
Yeah. She posted it on Facebook in her group. So she still plans to write, but she's going to cut back on all of her public appearances and her signings. I'm guessing those are off the table while she recovers. So get better soon, Kate, because we need your brilliant brain in the world.
Good vibes. All the healing vibes out there.
Yeah.
All right. Hallie, who do you hope has fun this week?
I hope everyone who is back to school this week has fun. I know in Minnesota, first day of school was on Tuesday. Welcome back to school, kids. Stay in school as long as you can.
Well, I had something else prepared, but I found out yesterday that someone is going to start taking batting practice. Any guesses who?
Let's see. I believe it is Ryan O'Hearn.
Is on the mend. He's like actually gonna start like doing a lot like more formal baseball things after his quad strain, and I was overjoyed to hear the news that he's gonna be taking batting practice and stuff down here and doing some fielding drills. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see him back on the Pirates. Pirates, please lock in so that you have a chance at a wild card spot by the time Ryan O'Hearn gets back so he can go to the postseason. Please and thank you. I love you so much. All right. Well, I hope all of that goes really well, Ryan. You know that you are very beloved here on Glove Actually. I don't know if you're out there listening. All right. Well, this has been Glove Actually. I'm Courtney.
I'm Hallie.
I'm Adriana.
And I'm Melissa.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great week, Glovelies. And as always, be kind, keep it cute, and stay glovely.
Lovely.